So I was chatting with an internist last week who asked me a really great question about the microbiome. And I really just want to share the answer that I think is the right answer with you guys because I think it's important. So the internist asked me, what is the perfect microbiome, or what is the ideal microbiome that we should be striving for? And I really kind of struggled to answer this question because a microbiome is very unique. We each have our own individual one, and they tend to be similar in families, and it's tuned to your very specific microenvironment. And while we know that there are some ratios that tend to be present in more lean people than obese people, that doesn't necessarily mean it's ideal, because actually some of the more predominant bacteria in obese people are actually advantageous from a survival standpoint because they can harvest more energy from food. And so as I thought about this more, what I really would like you to know is that the most ideal microbiome is a highly diverse one. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Katrina Coulter. I'm an infectious disease physician, and I make educational health videos that focus on the microbiome in particular. And I want to talk to you about microbial diversity. So just like in nature, think of a forest and all the different types of plants and fungus and bacteria in the soil that coexist together to make a forest or a jungle a fully functioning organism. We want the same thing for our microbiome. We don't want a monoculture. When we plant things as a monoculture, they tend to have worsening disease infestations. Pests tend to find those more easily and decimate those crops. And so really in nature, we want a high amount of biologic diversity, and that's exactly what we want in our microbiome. And here's why. So number one, a very diverse microbiome is going to prevent or help you be resilient to withstanding an attack from pathogens. So if you have many different types of bacteria in your microbiome, there's really not a lot of room for these outside invaders to come in and establish a foothold. Your microbiome is using up all of the real estate. There's no room to move in. And we've actually found that more diverse microbiomes are associated, of course, with lower gastrointestinal infections, things like C. diff, but also with lower respiratory infections. So involving your airway and your lungs, which you wouldn't think, but it has to do with your immune system. And that's reason number two why you want a very diverse microbiome, is because our immune system is trained in our gut. And so the higher variety of different types of organisms that our immune system can be exposed to, the more ready it is when something foreign comes along, or perhaps it's been exposed to this bad organism before and it's ready to go because it's already seen it. So we have more diverse, toned immune system that's ready to attack, and also is not going to be as eager to attack self or create inflammation because it's bored or out of control. The next reason that we want a diverse microbiome, you maybe would not think of intuitively, but we find that people with diverse microbiomes have better metabolic health. So they're better at blood sugar regulation. And that's because we produce these short chain fatty acids that are compounds that signal insulin sensitivity, glucose metabolism, and also appetite signaling. So the more diverse your microbiome is, the more stable your blood sugar is likely to be, and you're not going to see these extreme lows or these extreme highs. And then the last reason that we'll talk about is for your mental health. And that's because So many of the neurotransmitters that influence your brain signaling are created in your gut microbiome. This is serotonin, dopamine, GABA, histamine. All of these things are created in your gut and then travel through the vagus nerve to your brain and really influence mental health and your resilience to difficult situations, stability of mood, and your chronic stress state. And so having a diverse microbiome influences all these different aspects of your life. So it's not that you need so much of one certain type of bacteria. And that's why I caution people with these stool studies, is because we really don't know the ideal. We just want a big mix of everything, just like in nature. So how do you get a nice big mix of everything in your microbiome? Well, number one is you've got to eat plants, and you've got to eat lots of different types of plants, because the different types of fiber nourish different colonies of bacteria and fungi. And so if you're only eating the same thing every day for lunch, you're only nourishing one specific type of bacteria, and you really want to mix it up there. The second thing that you can do is eat fermented foods, and lots of different types of fermented foods. So kombucha, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso is my new favorite. Even buttermilk is fermented and can introduce live active bacteria. So find the fermented foods that you like and get them in your diet. And the next thing that you can do is spend a lot of time outdoors. So get out in the natural environment. Don't be afraid to get a little dirty. Of course, you need to wash your hands before you eat, but go experience nature. Go get out in the woods, go hiking. I do a lot of work on the ranch, and so I get plenty of exposure. I hopefully have a very diverse microbiome from that. And lastly, antibiotics, they really do kill off some of your microbiome. And so minimizing your antibiotic and your antifungal use, unless it's absolutely necessary, will help you have that nice, diverse microbiome. So lots of different foods, fermented foods, get out in nature. Don't take antibiotics unless you absolutely need them. Hope these tips were helpful. I've got plenty more videos that go into more depth on these things, so I would love it if you check them out, and I'll see you on the next video.